Howdy everybody, how are we all doing today? Good? Great. Welcome to part 2 of a 3-part series covering the 3 kinds of Slayer magic in Fairy Tail. This time we'll be covering Demon Slayer magic / Devil Slayer magic. Translations are a bit wonky on that one. This type of Slayer magic has been used by 3 different people in the past. Silver Fullbuster, Gray Fullbuster, and Bloodman. And whether or not it is actually a magic or not is a little up for debate. We'll get to that later. But for now, let's start with an introduction to what exactly Demon Slayer magic is. Put simply, it is magic created with the express purpose of exorcising demons from. Outside of that, it has most of the same powers a standard Slayer power magic would have. Those being an invulnerability to the element that they possess, the ability to consume that element to replenish their strength, and in general, just improved strength and speed. Something that is worth noting is that when Gray was using the power of Demon Slayer magic, he was slowly being turned into a half-demon, allowing him to survive attacks that should have spelled the end for him, such as the ultimate curse Memento Mori. The other thing to note is that it's unclear whether or not all humans would go through that, because all of the Demon Slayers we see throughout the series are of different races. There's Silver, who was the first Demon Slayer we see, and he was a resurrected corpse. There was Gray, who was the only living human we see using Demon Slayer magic. And then there was Bloodman, who is a demon. He's also our least helpful source for this, and in all honesty just creates more of a problem. Once again, I'll get to it later. But he only ever uses one spell, that being Ice Demon's Rage, which is essentially just a massive blast of demonic energy expelled from the mouth. Something else to note is that Demon Slayers, unlike both God Slayers and Dragon Slayers, get a physical marking on their body that denotes them as using their power. Something else to note, as just part of the general overview, is that it's unclear how Demon Slayers learn how to use their magic. Silver, all we really get from Silver, considering how cryptic he was being throughout his whole fight, was that he specifically learned Ice Devil Slayer magic in order to kill END, because END was the strongest fire demon. Gray gains access to it after his father dies, and Silver passes the power of Demon Slayer magic onto Gray. And Bloodman, the most we get out of him is that he has the power of all 9 demon gates, plus a few extra. So, we aren't 100% sure on how one would go about learning Ice Demon Slayer magic. Something to note about Ice Demon Slayer magic is, while we see plenty of spells used by both Silver and Gray, both of them didn't tend to use outright spells. Instead, Silver would tend to just create a massive wave of cold to freeze people and things, such as when he froze Natsu solid, and when he froze the ground that Gray and he were fighting on, so that Gray wouldn't be able to get any more non-ice ammunition. Meanwhile, Gray, once he gained access to Ice Devil Slayer magic, he tended to combine it with his Ice Make magic, allowing him to create weapons and other kinds of items that just had the ability to harm and kill demons. And Bloodman, like I said, only used one Ice Devil spell in the entire series. Something else to note is that Gray, prior to getting Ice Demon Slayer magic, was shown to be able to channel Silver's ice through his body and use it as his own magic, effectively allowing him to use Ice Devil Slayer magic without having the knowledge to do so. We see Gray combine a lot of different Ice Make spells with his Ice Devil Slayer magic, including stuff like combining Ice Make Cold Excalibur with it to create Ice Demon Zero Longsword, combining his Ice Bow technique with Ice Devil magic in order to create Ice Demon Zero Destruction Bow, and also just creating brand new Ice Make spells in order to better utilize his new Ice Devil Slayer magic. And here is where we have to talk about probably one of the biggest problems to come from our third user of Ice Devil Slayer magic. Namely, is Ice Devil Slayer magic a type of magic, or is it a curse? A quick primer for those of you that I just completely confused. In Fairy Tail, specifically in the Tartarus arc, where Ice Devil Slayer magic is first introduced, we also get introduced to the concept of curse power. The way that it's explained in the series is that if magic is generated from positive emotions like happiness, joy, laughter, all that kind of stuff, then curse power is generated from all of the negative emotions like anger, sadness, jealousy, disgust. But they're also very separate, as seen with Mardgeir's plan being to destroy all the magic in Ishgard and make it so, and thus making it so that the only powers left would be curse-based. Now, the reason that this is a problem is that in the final arc, when we meet Bloodman, who can use the curses of all 9 of the demon gates, plus the curses of the Underworld King, Gajiel says that he's not sensing any magic from him. Well, any kind of magic power from him. Only for Bloodman to shoot back that he uses curses. And this is where the problem starts to form. Was Silver using a curse, or was he still using magic? What is the power of Ice Devil Slayer magic? Is it a curse, or is it, magic? I'm going to try to answer this question to the best of my ability, but I'm not 100% sure I can come to a definitive conclusion. Based off what Gajiel says to Bloodman, we can infer that Bloodman doesn't really have that much magic power. but he does have some, since Gajiel is capable of sensing at least a little magic from him. And based on the fact that Bloodman doesn't actually use magic aside from a single Ice Devil Slayer magic spell, it's safe to assume that both Silver and Gray were using it as a Ice Devil Slayer magic and not Ice Devil Slayer curse. Easier than I expected. But I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments. But with that, I'd say that brings all of this to a close. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time when we cover Dragon Slayer magic.